I'll bring in Liz Duff. She is the host of Late Night Scrolling, the Canadian pop culture podcast. Liz, thanks for joining us. Good morning. You were on a live stream with fans at midnight to listen to the album. How was that experience, being able to listen to the album with other Swifties?
Well, this is something that I've done for Taylor's album drops ever since she started re-recording her album. So it really started as diehard Taylor Swift fans coming together to hear her try to reclaim her music. So to listen to an album in a moment where Taylor has owned all of her masters for the first time and is putting out an album without that narrative as part of her creative process was so exhilarating. The fans were so happy to hear how happy she is in her personal and professional life. And I agree with the segment you just aired. It was truly shocking across the board to hear some of the choices she was making in this album. But that's the joy of being a Taylor Swift fan, that she's always going to keep you on your toes.
So let's talk about some of those shocking choices.
Absolutely. I mean, the lyricism was what we know of her, and I would say also a new frontier. It was so tongue-in-cheek. We don't really think of Taylor Swift as a comedian, but the album is very funny, and it was wonderful to hear her make jokes and make tongue-in-cheek references to pop culture and folklore in a way that really shows how dynamic her life is now. When you can write from a place of joy, and when you have joy fueling your creative process, that's what you get on the other side of it. And I don't think anyone was expecting to hear so much of that levity in these lyrics, but it certainly is the overall theme of the album.
You know, there's such a contrast from the previous album called The Tortured Poets Department versus The Showgirl. It just talks so differently, even the title itself. So tell us about some of the favorites. What is it that you're seeing amongst people? What are they liking?
The first three songs on the album, if you turn it on from song 1 to song 3, I would argue is one of her strongest starts to any Taylor Swift album. It's everything that you expect from the folklore, the references, the way that Max Martin produced these songs has lots of ties to 80s pop music in the 1989 album. It's a really strong footing that she lays to show how her relationship with Travis specifically has really brought her to a place where she can think about the next chapter of her life as a showgirl, as a musician, but also just as a human and someone that wants to be surrounded by her friends and not tortured like her album previous had described.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for now. Liz Duff is the host of Late Night Scrolling, the Canadian pop culture podcast. Liz, thank you for this.
Thank you.